It's time for Rabbi Minkowicz's Weekly Torah Lesson, a place where life's most difficult questions are answered. Here with his spiritual perspective and insight, Rabbi Minkowicz.
Welcome to this week's Torah lesson. This week's Torah portion is Parsha's VAYELECH. The question of the week is Hashem ever hidden from us? So in this week's Torah portion, Parsha's VAYELECH, we learn about what God tells Moshe Rabbeinu, what's going to happen in the future after Moshe Rabbeinu passes on. And God tells Moshe Rabbeinu that we're going to stray and we're going to drift away from God. And God says, when we drift away, the Anochi and I, referring to God, Hastir esponi, I'm going to conceal myself. So the Baal Shem Tov asks a simple question. It should say, Anochi God, Hastir, conceal himself. God is concealing himself. But why does it say God will conceal himself? What's the double lashon? So what's the double message of concealing? So the Baal Shem Tov explains, what is the idea of the double message of concealing? That even the idea that God is concealed, that itself is concealed from us, that God is concealed. And what does that mean? The Rebbe explains as follows. That it says, Ani yeshena, I am sleeping, v'libi er, but my heart is awake to God. What does that mean? The Rebbe explains, according to mysticism, that when God created the world, He created the world in the materialistic world, that in order to have a relationship with God, we have to do the effort. That means we have to be awake. Awake means we're looking for God, and we're developing a relationship with God. We're cultivating a relationship with God. What does that mean? I'm awake. What happens when I fall asleep? Then I'm not looking for God. So what happens, the Rebbe explains, there are times in our life that I'm sleeping. I'm not necessarily praying with the proper intention. I'm not necessarily doing the mitzvot with the proper kavanah. I'm not necessarily studying Torah every time I can. But what happens then is, but even though you're sleeping, but the Rebbe says always, v'libi er, your heart's awake. But if you're sleeping, how's your heart awake? Because the Rebbe says when you're sleeping, that means the revealed part of you is not connecting to God. But what happens when you go to sleep? You're not dead. When you're sleeping, your subconscious is alive. And what does that mean? You're connecting to an even greater and more powerful part of God. What are you connecting to? You're connecting to, on the spiritual level, called Sov Kalam, much more powerful level of God. So based on this, Rebbe says that what happens when God is concealed, that means when we're not looking for God, so then the Anochi, we actually connect to the Anochi part of God, the deepest part of God. So the answer to the question, is God ever hidden from us? No, God is always revealed. Sometimes in a revealed way, but sometimes the concealed relationship is even deeper and stronger than the revealed one. This week's Torah lesson is in memory of Baruch ben Aryeh Leib and Shlomo Ben Yosef. May their souls be elevated for the Torah that we're studying in their memory. Thanks so much for joining us for our weekly Torah lesson. For more information on Chabad, please see our website.